it's Emma from Emma's Cards and Paper Crafts. Today I'm bringing you this cute little box here with the rainy days, rain or shine, sorry, stamp set. The cute little bunny. So this one's in boho blue, which is one of the new in colours. I'm going to be remaking it today in moody mauve. So let's get started. First of all, you need an A4 sheet of your coloured cardstock, and then we're going to cut it down to 10.5 by 7. So just get the little extender out. Let's cut down to 10.5 first, actually. So it'll give us bigger pieces, bigger scrap pieces that way. So that's the 10.5 by 7. We'll pop those off to the side. Now we're going to score. So I'll put my blade out of the way. On the long side, we're going to score at 2.5. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to work in a squidgy space and it's not really working. So 2.5. 5. Oh, I should have left the extender out. 7.5. And 10. So then you've got this teeny little edge bit here, which will be the flap that we glue it together. And then on the other side, the short side, we're going to score again at 2.5. Then again at 5. And then at 6.5. So then your cardstock will look something like this. We're going to carefully cut up these bottom lines here and remove this corner one. So to do that, if you just line up your scored line in the groove here, and then you can use the lines on here. So this line here lines up with the score mark. Hopefully you can see this being so down so far low. Let's see if I can make a bit more space. There we go. So this line here is in line with the 4.5 mark. So if you look carefully on your yeah, we want the blade anyway. If you look carefully on here, you've got little markers here. If you line that up with the 4.5 when you come down to there, look, and that cuts perfectly on that line for you. We're also going to cut down this one too. So let's just line that up with the groove again, down to the 4.5 mark, and line up the next one. Down to the 4.5 mark. Last one. Down to the 4.5 mark. So that is the base of your box. So they're the bottom flaps. So let's just carefully cut off this bottom piece here. So that'll be up to the 1/2 inch mark. I'm not sure you can see that though because the table's a little bit tiny to be working on. And you also want to cut out, let me think about it before I go and tell you wrong. Let's get the other one and have a quick look at the other one. So you want to cut out the 2nd and 4th the little edge across the top. So we'll line that up again. So we're only going down to the 6.5 inch mark. So it's only a tiny smidge. There we go. I think I might have got a tiny bit too far on that one, but never mind. It'll be folded in so you won't see it. It's hard doing this without getting my head in the way. And if we turn it this way, we will cut off to the fourth one and this corner. Let's just make sure my line's lined up properly. And we're going down to here, so 7.5 mark. There we go, and that bit just pops out, and then we're going to do this one here. So this one here is a little bit more tricky. I'm going to put my blade in the middle of this one and slowly work out to each edge. So we're going to go to the 2.5 mark and then up to the 5 mark. There we go. Pop that one out. That's all of the cutting. So you want to give all of these edges a really good fold. Especially this top one here. So that's where your box will be folding shut. Now before we glue our box, we're going to do a little bit of decorating. So I want it so that this is the back of my box, so that the seam's hidden. So the third one here is the one we're going to do a tiny bit of stamping on. I've got my stamp here and my Moody Mauve ink. So as you can see on this one, I've just got a couple of puddles on there. So I'm just going to put the puddles on because it's easier to stamp before we glue it together. So I'm just doing them opposite ways up, so they sort of look like different puddles. Let's leave that ink out actually. Put the box to one side for a minute and we're going to do our stamping. So you're going to need a scrap of white cardstock and Memento ink. And then we're going to stamp, let's stamp the bunny rabbit first. Pick the best side of the cardstock. There we go, bunny stamped, and then we want to stamp our sentiment. Let me just find my diary a minute to make sure my cardstock's wide enough. And now I've done the dreaded ink on your hand thing. Happens way too often for me. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment at the top there. So that's all of the inking done. We're going to do a little bit of colouring now. So in the other one, I did in with a boho blue jacket. So we're going to do the jacket this time Misty Mauve, and instead of having the Moody Mauve, we're going to have I'm going to use the light Sweet Sorbet to do his nose this time, or her nose this time, or whatever they are. So let's do the nose first. I'm not the world's best colourer, so you might need to bear with me. I can't find my new pens. So you can use blends. I'm using a mixture of blends and the Stampin' Write markers. They both colour lovely. They both got a brush tip and a fine point on the end of them. I'm actually liking the Stampin' Write markers a little bit better, but obviously you only get these in one colour rather than the light and dark. But that doesn't seem to be a problem for me. I'm not a huge colourer, and the good thing about the Stampin' Write markers, you can use them as a ink alternative on your stamp and it won't damage your stamps in any way. So bear with me while the colouring takes a while, because this is the long part of this bit, because I like to do my best and stay within the lines, but you know me, a bit of a rule breaker. There we go, coming along nicely. And if you see there's a few lines here, you could just give it another quick little going over and it kind of blends the lines in a bit better. There we go, this one's got a lovely dark jacket. So as you can see, the more colour you put on, the more colour builds up. So you can do the light moody mauve, or you could do the darker one. Should build up the colour. There we go, so that's the jacket done. I'm using the ivory and the bronze to do my bunny rabbit. Using the ivory just for the inside of the ears. And then the bronze for the rest of him, or her, it, bunny, whatever you want to call it. Because that ear kind of looks like it's not really joined, I just like to do a little bit of brown around the nose so it doesn't look like the ear's like floating in midair. I wanted to do the colouring on camera because otherwise this would be a very short video of just putting it all together. But so I'm not going to bother with anything with a puddle at the bottom because the die for this bunny rabbit doesn't actually cut that bit out, which is why we've stamped the puddle on the actual box. That's also why the puddle doesn't actually join to his foot, so you don't get the black line once you've die cut him. Right, let's pop all the pens out of the way. I'm going to get my mini out and let's hope it plays ball today, because it is slightly tight when die cutting, which is normal. I had one to start with that was really, really tight and almost impossible to cut with. But Stampin' Up was quite happy to exchange it for me. There we go. Just going to pop that on there, and let's hope this. Is it going to play ball today? There we go. So that's the bunny cut out. Oh, put bunny to one side. And my mat's going everywhere. And now we're going to cut out the Rainy Days Are Better With You. I'm going to chop this off because I find with square dies, if you put it through at an angle, it works a lot better rather than putting them in straight. Got a bit of fluff on there. Let's find my plate. Let's give it a little go. There we go, and it goes through no problem then. That's that done. Pop that out the way. That's that. So this banner die here is from the Stylish Shapes, which I used on my video last week or the week before, but Stylish Shapes are one of my favourites. So we've got these here. We're going to pop some dimensionals on the back of those. I did have some dimensionals right in front of me, and here they are. Didn't know where they went. So just a couple on there. The big dimensionals just about fit in the bunny's ears. So I put one on each ear, just to give them a little bit more support. And then a couple on the body. So that's those. We pop those to one side for a minute. Scooch all the other rubbish out the way. And now we're going to do the gluing. So make sure you get your box nice and straight. If you fold it like that, like a sandwich, we're going to glue along this part here first. That's from my glue. There we go. Just hold it there for a couple of seconds. leakage, never mind. Pop it up and then push down that way as well, just to make sure that it's 100% square. And then because we want this one to be the last flap down, we're going to put the back flap down first and pop a little bit of glue on there. I always hate picking the glue up one side one in. It's always a bit tricky to do this bit. I tend to weight it down with a punch or something afterwards. So then other side one down. And put a generous amount of glue on the last one, just because you definitely don't want it to go anywhere. There we go. So even though I've got that as square as I can, you've got a tiny bit of overhang here. It's quite easy to just gently snip off with a pair of scissors, or because it's on a fold line that I've cut, I'm just gently pushing it down and you can see it's curved around the box. Now we're going to put some ink pad in there just to push down. Make sure it sticks down nicely. So you've got the front facing you, so this is important to make these sides here, make sure they've really burnished well. And then we're going to gently bring the front and back together. Make sure you're only pushing on the top bit of those sides though. Gently pushing each corner. See, this corner's gone a little bit wonky for me. Just gently manipulate it into place. And that corner's still gone a bit wonky again. You could score down these lines if you've got a scoreboard, but mine's still buried in a box from when we moved house like 6 months ago, so I'm not quite sure where it is right now. There we go, it's a little bit better. You've got a tiny little bit of a mark where it was. And I'm just going to put my clips on the top. Oops, no, dropped one just a minute ago. Not sure where it's gone, so I'm just going to put one clip in the middle just to hold it in the right place for me. And then we can stick down our sentiment and our bunny rabbit. There we go. A bunny in the middle. So there we go. There's both of them. Let me know which colour you like best. I'm not too sure on the bright pink nose, but it's a little girl, so it goes well. So let me know which one is your favourite, and in the comments below, and I'll see you for a video next time. I'll leave all the measurements in the description box as well. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.